But before we get to the theory, I just want to kind of point some things out. Apparently, going into the season, the Minnesota Vikings were supposed to be a rebuilding team. Now, when you look at their offense, they didn't lose any of their weapons on offense. Their quarterback in Kirk Cousins went over to Atlanta and sucked. Now, albeit he was just coming, he's damn near, is he 40 years old? I don't know. He's close, right? He's older. And then he was just coming off of an Achilles injury. So, had he come back, would they have had the same outlook? Okay, so that was the situation why your over under was 6 games or 6.5, because you didn't have the quarterback, right? And I guess everyone thought that Sam Darnold was complete trash and complete garbage. They also drafted a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, who did not play because during training camp he tore his meniscus. They went in, they cleaned it out. They completely repaired it. So he was out for the season. He was not coming back at all. Okay, cool. Your defense, you lost Danielle Hunter, but you got pieces that your defensive coordinator wanted. He has a certain style of play that he likes to play. It's very different from what most teams in the NFL do. So he got these pieces and he was set to go. He was happy with Van Ginkel. He was happy with Grenard. They still had a good secondary. They still had all of these things. Why was it just accepted that they were in a rebuilding year? Is it simply because of the quarterback? Is that it? And then they also drafted Dallas Turner, who, everyone thought was going to be a dog out of Alabama and all these. So it's not like their defense was really projected to suck. Like, if you actually looked at their defense and the projections and you looked at the players that they got, I don't understand anything with the sucking. Pause. What up, though, Will Murray? What up, though, J-Rod? So we're looking at that. We're looking at the roster. Again, on the offense, you have Justin Jefferson, who's widely regarded. Okay, I would say 99% of the people probably believe that Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL. You got Jordan Addison. You got TJ Hutchinson. You got the Sons of Minnesota, which is what I call them. And I bet not to hear no Vikings fans using that nickname without crediting me. Okay, but I'm not like the guy that tried to take credit for breaking the news about Virginia McCaskey's death, and that was all he cared about. It was like, I reported it. Like, can y'all please credit me? That's a weird flex, but okay. I think he lost a lot of followers on X. Anyway, so you've got that dynamic with the offense, and then you added Aaron Jones. Now, whether you believed Aaron Jones was still the Aaron Jones with the Packers, I believe that he was. All we were worried about was his health, and he did miss a couple games here and there. TJ Hutchinson did play 10 games, though he was coming back from injury. I don't think what KOC did was that impressive. Everyone wants to rag on Sam Darnold and, he won 14 games with freaking Sam Darnold, and that's an amazing accomplishment. I get it. But Sam Darnold was a guy, he was passed around by those types of coaches. Those coaches that came from the Sean McVay tree, the Shanahan situation, like all of those guys, they're kind of pretty close knit and understand each other, and they've worked with each other, and they've designed offensive plays together. Everybody who was in that subject or in that system that had him on their team had good things to say about him. So this was a guy that KOC knew, if I put him in my system, he's going to flourish. He had insider information that we did not have. All year we were looking at Sam Darnold like, oh, okay, I was unfamiliar with the game. Okay, but the Detroit Lions exposed Sam Darnold, unraveled all of that in week 18. And guess what? We gave the blueprint to the Rams, and the Rams beat the brakes off of them too. Okay? In fact, the only two teams that the Minnesota Vikings lost to were the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams. Okay? They lost to the Detroit Lions twice during the season and lost to the Rams once during the season. Okay? And it was both of the times that they lost to the Rams were after they lost to the Lions. Now you look at what Dan Campbell did, where if you want to say he delegated everything to Ben Johnson, he delegated everything to AG. Okay, who knows? The assumption is that he has like zero to do with the game plan and all these things. No. Right? Just like the offense. I've heard on more than one occasion from different sources that the offense was Dan Campbell's offense. Right? Ben Johnson called the plays. Ben Johnson created some of the plays and all these things. But it was Dan Campbell's offense, which means that Dan Campbell had a heavy hand in designing the offense. Yes, Ben Johnson and Jared Goff locked themselves in the room with Chick-fil-A and all these things, and Ben Johnson went over Jared Goff's strengths and weaknesses, and he bounced ideas off of Jared Goff and what do you like and what do you not like and this, that, and the third thing, and came up with this. But again, I've heard from sources with the team that it was Dan Campbell's offense. We'll see next year for sure, next season, no problem. But the fact that everybody on the defense did a stint on IR. We got hit on the defensive line extensively. We started getting hit on the defensive line in week number 3. Okay? Well, basically week 2. If you're gonna, because Marcus Davenport, he played one game. Game number 1. Got nicked, got dinged, missed game number 2, went out for the season in game number 3. Then we get to game number 5. Game number 5, we lose Hutch for the entire season. Right? Shortly thereafter, you lose Anzalone. Then in the same game, you lost Carlton Davis, Aleem McNeil, and David Montgomery. Okay? In the same game, you lost Carlton Davis and Aleem McNeil for the remainder of the season. David Montgomery did come back from the playoff game, but was really not effective at all. It's calling a spade a spade. So, I mean, at one point in the season, it was DJ Reader and Jack Campbell who were the only starters in the front 7. DJ Reader did miss a game. I feel like Jack Campbell's the only one that didn't miss a game. Terrion Arnold was out for a game. So Carlton Davis went down. You had to go and move Amik Robertson to the outside. And, you had Kirby and Brian Branch, which were like the only players that didn't miss games in the secondary. Okay, you lost Amik Robertson. That was in the playoff game. But all of these things, bro, you went 15-2 with a mass unit on the defense. You had guys like Quan Alexander coming in off of practice squads. You had guys like Jamal Adams come in and switch positions and go play linebacker on one day of practice, pretty much. Okay, signed him off his couch, had him go play linebacker. Okay, now, was Dan Campbell responsible for the defense? No. But do you think that he didn't have conversations with AG about how we were going to go forward and plug these holes in on defense? Absolutely 100%, because he is the head coach. And then you had Ezekiel Turner. Y'all all know that Ezekiel Turner is like the bane of my existence. This season, he's not on the level of Jeff Okudah. He's just not. He never will get there. But Ezekiel Turner got a lot of praise because he horse-collared Jordan Love. They could have called it a horse collar. I was surprised that they didn't. Okay? But he did pop out there and make that play, corral Jordan Love, and stop him from being able to do anything. And it was a crucial play in a very close game. So kudos to him for making the play. But in the game thereafter, where we had to play the Buffalo Bills, my guy was awful. He wouldn't care. He would not cover a running back to save his entire freaking life. He wouldn't do it. Running backs coming out, Ty Johnson, James Cook, they're just coming out the backfield wide open. And where's Ezekiel Turner? Ezekiel Turner's over there getting rubbed, pause. He's over there getting picked. He's over there getting stacked up, right? Chip. Just not ever getting to his assignment. I feel like Ty Johnson and James Cook from the backfield had about 200 yards receiving. Just from the backfield alone. And this is what we had to deal with. And we went 15-2. I don't know how it wasn't a snub. But if Dan Campbell cannot win Coach of the Year after the 3-13-1 start and ultimately landing at 15-2. Each stop along the way, he's been snubbed for someone else. And that's fine. But just saying because he was expected to do such and such, and then going, well, you know, he went 15-2, but they were favored to go to the Super Bowl. Well, we didn't go to the Super Bowl. And part of the reason that we didn't go to the Super Bowl was the adversity that I talked about. Having more than half of your starting defense on IR. What up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P here. Listen, if you want to continue keeping your Lions news pragmatic, if you want to keep getting the stats and not none of that static, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share and let everybody know what's going on around here. And turn on your notifications, because how else would you know that we're up in here keeping your Lions news pragmatic? Appreciate you once again, and we are out. Peace.